Yep.
Her truck is sitting at my house, the transmission's out. And her other car is sitting in the transmission.
I had 2 transmissions go out in 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We thought we were over.
We'll bless you with better favor before you leave.
Yeah, Ford's warranty program lacks a little to be desired at this point in time.
Yes, we found that out. All right, so I brought bags for you guys. I'm going back. You're welcome. All right, so my name is Amber Toler. I'm a health educator at 77 Health Department. So I'm giving you each a bag here because we do a lot of outreach at the health department. So if you see us out and about, you have a table set up or something, you will pretty much see all of this stuff, and I'll be your student who's going.
Okay. Well, I could give him this one too. Although I do kind of like the stuff in here, so maybe I won't want to give it.
Okay, I've got some extra, so no worries.
Cool.
All right, so we do a lot of outreach stuff. In this pamphlet here shows all the services and stuff we do. So I'm assuming you have to write a paper about what I talk about. So essentially, this is your cheat sheet, okay? So it's got all of our services. I know we do a lot of stuff. So I'm a health educator. I do anything health related. So something like this. I also go around to the schools. I spend a lot of time in schools. I teach pre-K kids all the way up to seniors. Okay. Also do adult classes. When I say I spend a lot of time in the schools, I teach sex education as well. I usually get those looks a lot when I say.
I was trying to have a blank face. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going back to my health class where it was stick figures in the 60s.
Well, mine was just like nasty STD pictures.
Yeah.
But is that what yours was too?
Pretty much. And we had high schoolers teach ours, so it was nothing but a big old joke, really.
You guys asking where you went to school at?
Carlisle, Kentucky.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I know. That's probably why.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can pretty well, in the southern 7 counties, that would be me. But,
yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So I teach 7th graders and I teach freshmen in regards to sex education. 7th grade, we talk about abstinence. We don't really go into the methods of birth control or anything like that. We talk about relationship goals, self-esteem. We go into as far as like peer pressure in the media, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Then the freshmen, we talk about abstinence, but we say, okay, this is real life. These are the other options. Okay? So this is what you can do if you decide to not remain abstinent. So I enjoy teaching the high school class a little bit more. Sometimes they teach me stuff. I'm teaching right now a group of 7th grade boys, and I have never heard so many new terms in my life. So I'm being educated.
They tend to just make it up, don't they?
Well, have you guys looked on Urban Dictionary?
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm scared to at this point.
You can find all kinds of new words on there. Okay, so just FYI, if you're bored, go on Urban Dictionary.
I'll write that down.
Urban Dictionary. There we go.
How long do your classes last?
Right. So for sex ed, we have a grant. It's a PrEP grant. So it's a teen prevention, pregnancy prevention grant. We teach in Alexander and Pulaski County. So we have to teach 13 sessions for 7th grade, and then it is 9 for freshmen, and they are 50 to 60 minutes. So this is a state grant, they send us down the requirements, so that's why we have to do that. We have to do 2 sessions a week until we finish. We have to report on all of that, and then send it back to the state. Let's see. I had something. Our curriculum that we use is all evidence-based. So we don't use a scare tactic like me and you got STD, nasty STD pictures. We don't use that. We use evidence-based. So we actually have the evidence to back up what we're saying instead of just like, this is what could happen and it's really nasty, Also, 7th grade, we have a In the state of Illinois, you can be 12 years old and get birth control on your own. So that is something else we discussed. A lot of people do not realize that. We used to have a family planning grant. We don't anymore. Chessie has that. You guys had anyone come and talk from Chessie? No, that might be something someone you look into.
Where are they
They're in Cairo and Tams.
Yes.
They used to be in Tams.
They've got a site in Carbondale, I believe. They're kind of all over. They have a family planning grant now. You have to have a nurse practitioner on site in order to do the family planning grant. And we lost that. Supposedly we were losing money with the program. I'm not for sure how. We had a ton of girls that would come in and get on birth control, not wanting, mom and dad to know. So like I said, at 12 years old, you can get it on your own.
Is that a new law? Do you know? Or has it always been that way?
Parental permission at 12?
At 12 and up, you do not. No.
Obviously, it's from a doctor.
Actually, we had a nurse
Or
practitioner.
someone who's legally able to prescribe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you wouldn't be able to give out birth
I would
control.
not, no.
I'm assuming you're not a nurse. So,
No, I am a health educator. I have my bachelor's in community health education.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not certified. No. But like if we had a kid come in who was like 13 and wanted condoms, I could get those out.
Because I guess you can get them at 10 years old or 8 or I don't know what the law says for that.
It's 12 years old. Any kind of method of birth control.
So at Walmart, that's the law at Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen him card a 12-year-old kid, though. I mean, how would you even do that?
But maybe.
Well, I've
Maybe
never
when it's-
seen a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I haven't either. Maybe when you scan it, it asks the person the question on is this person 12 years old or?
And a lot of people will think they can get away with it by going through self-checkout, but it still does the same thing that you're talking
Okay.
about. Yeah, but I can give out condoms to pretty well anyone that comes in at the health department. If they look 12,
Right.
we'll give it to them. If they're coming in and they're asking for condoms, we're not going to, say,
Right.
you don't look of age.
Yeah.
At least they're making that decision to attempt to prevent STDs, pregnancy, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's a pretty sticky subject.
Well, that was a lot of parents. Have you ever had parents show back up and say, you gave this to my kid, you gave these to my kid or something? Or?
I have not. I have had a phone call from a pastor because I was teaching sex ed 7th graders. It was the first time that sex ed had ever been taught at this school. So I had a pastor call me, wanting to know what I was teaching. So I told him, I said, you're more than welcome to come in to my office and look at my curriculum. I said, I just state factual information. So I've had that, but
Did he come in?
no, he didn't. I pretty well told him over the phone, what I do.
Now, do parents have to sign off on it? Because I know when I took it, we had to get a permission
Nick
slip
did too.
signed from the parent stating, yes, I'm okay with my kid taking this, that kind of thing.
In 7th grade, a lot of times the schools will. It's totally up to the school, though. I have some schools who don't care, and they say my kid, or the teacher will be like, all my kids are going to take it, they need it. And then some schools will send home permission slips at the 7th grade level. The freshman age, I will give them a permission slip that says if it doesn't come back, they can take the class. Because at high school level, most things that go home don't come back anyway. So that's a way to get them into the class.
See, they actually told Nick he could opt to not take it himself as a kid. He could just say, I don't want to take it.
Yes, and it does happen a lot. I don't punish that.
It happens a lot.
Yeah, we get some parents.
We actually had to talk Nick into taking it because we thought he should know it, but
Okay.
he thought it was creepy. He didn't.
Yeah, it does happen. I don't do any kind of punishments. The school usually takes care of that.
Yeah.
But as far as Alexander and Pulaski County, they do send home notes for the 7th grade, not for the freshmen. They pretty well make it a mandatory class. I've got a boy right now who said that he doesn't want to take the class. Talk to your teacher, and then he's back every day. So, yeah. I guess the teachers make him take it. So, sex education, that takes up a big portion of my time. We can contract with schools outside of Alexander and Pulaski. So right now, I am contracted with a school in Union County to do sex ed. Since we're contracted, we don't have to go by the state guidelines. Okay, so I can still use my curriculum, but I can go do 5 days a week, do 2 days a week. I could spend 2 hours at school. I could spend an hour. So outside of Alexander and Pulaski, I can, pretty well set my own rules, what information I feel like is important. Because at some points, sex ed gets kind of cheesy. The situations, it does. It's like, some of the situations in the curriculum is super cheesy. So I'll skip over the stick figures. So we do role playing as well in the curriculum. Okay, so if also gender neutral, that's a big thing right now. I started working in the health department 4 years ago. I did my internship there as well. What I'm doing now. So I've been there 5 years. When I first started teaching sex ed, there wasn't a concern about male and female. Just a condom, most people think of just a little small square. Don't think of a female condom. We have to now call a male condom an external condom. We now have to call a female condom an internal. So those gender neutral situations are kind of resolved. Also with names, we use like Jamie, Taylor, a lot of Alex names that could be either yes, in our role playing situations. Because like right now I'm teaching a group of boys. If I have a situation where they're doing role play and it's a boy and a girl, they're not going to do it. It grosses them out, they don't want to have anything to do with it. And then they're not going to pay attention to the rest of the class. So as far as that goes, we stick with gender neutral terms, which is something that has just recently came up. So that's something different. Let's see.
How often does stuff change? Like every 10 minutes?
I don't like it when the curriculum changes because I go through it page by page and take my own notes. So I'm not like, okay, this is what we're going to do. So I take my own notes. I'll just briefly look down at them. So I don't like it when we change curriculums because I have to go through a thick book about like that. But we did 2 years ago. So it is updated. That's another thing. It's not stick figures. We do a puberty DVD that is actually like a hand drawing, like a freestyle drawing of puberty in males and females. It is actually one of the best videos I've ever seen. I'll give it that. It's not, like 1980s that you see in the movies. That's the sex education they're giving. So no baby births. We don't show that. That was in my sex education. Was watching a child be born. Did you get that too? No.
Not in the sex ed class. No, I got it in a nursing class later on.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. So that's another thing. Some schools choose to do their own, and that's a lot of times what they end up doing, or just don't do it, just fortify the kids. But so besides sex ed, I work for a grant which is CATCH, and that is coordinated approach to childhood health. So this is when I said I work from pre-K kids to freshmen. I work under the CATCH grant. So as you guys, I'm sure have heard, bullying, huge issue right now. I talk a lot about bullying, character education. I am at a school probably 3 days out of the week, I would say, doing character education, which is just teaching about, things that when I was a child, I was taught to, use my manners. I'm basically teaching the kids manners. As sad as that is, that's a huge portion of my job as well.
That's what parents used to do.
Things that, I would never think of doing.
You have to do that.
And it's sad, but it's what I end up doing. Bullying is it's huge. With CATCH, we do a school health index. That is through the CDC. It is a needs assessment. So it's 11 modules. We have a wellness team so whoever wants to be part of that in the school, they will fill out these questions on the needs assessments, the school health index. That talks about all portions in school, anywhere from food service to issues with the students, staff wellness. You know, things that when you go to a school, a lot of people are focused on the kids, not the ones actually teaching. Is there any kind of staff wellness here?
I'm sure that there is a small degree,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a small degree.
Obviously not well known since you had to think
Yeah.
about it.
Right. I mean, like, there are things that, like, frustrate me, like the fact that we have, like, an amazing workout area, but a lot of people who work here don't really know the process to sign up for it, even though it's free.
That's a perfect example.
You know? And so I advocated, this is between us, like, I advocated this year, and I was like, let's present that we have this meeting, like 3 days before classes begin, which everybody who works here has to attend. And I'm like, let's have somebody just talk for like 3 minutes about health insurance and then how to sign up for the gym. Mm-hmm. Because we not only have a gym here, we have one at the Anna Extension Center, and I don't know about Metro, I haven't been there that much. Mm-hmm. But I think every staff member could figure out how to sign up, and then we could all use the facilities if we wanted to. It helps the credit hour load increase. We potentially could lower our cholesterol. It seems like it'd be a win-win.
Yeah.
We're sick less often, so we don't call in as much.
Exactly.
But
How did that go?
That didn't happen. I don't know what happened. It died in transit.
I mean, that's a perfect example because I have the same situation where I work, we don't necessarily have a gym like you guys do, but offer like a 10% discount or whatever. I mean, there are things that can be done. But the schools, a lot of them have a nice weightlifting area, a gym that when there's not practice going on. Those are things that we talk about because a lot of schools don't utilize that.
Yeah. Or encourage. I think we should be encouraging.
Yes.
Sometimes places tolerate it, but I think we should be encouraging people to take 15 minutes out of their day, pay them to work out for 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yes.
I think it'd
I was
be
here
way
a year
ahead.
before I even knew there was a gym back there.
Yeah.
I found it during the Easter egg hunt when I was putting the Easter eggs together. And they said, it's over in the LA tour by the gym. I'm like, by the what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Anyway.
right, though. I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But, with Catch, when they're doing that needs assessment, I would say 95% of my schools that I work through Catch, their staff wellness is the lowest part of their needs assessment.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right when you say, pay the staff. That's something I bring up. School gets out at like 3:12, 3 o'clock normally. Okay, the staff has to stay at the school until 3:30. Why don't you let them have that time to, maybe play a volleyball game, walk. I have some schools and we make wellness goals at the school with the results of their needs assessment. We'll set goals. Some will have a dodgeball game at the end of school. That's something they'll work towards. Or, volleyball. I have some schools who make goals of the biggest loser. Okay.
I think we did that here once.
Did you?
Did we do that once?
I've heard something about it doing.
We do have a walking thing too. We did last year, where like we have pedometers and
Mhm.
people walk. Yeah.
A step challenge, a hydration stations. What one school I have, they try and drink so much water a day. That team will get, some kind of reward. A lot of schools will put, they'll have the staff put in like $5 or $2 or whatever it is, and then they'll use that as the pot, that you win. You win the challenge. The health department has provided Fitbits before for awards for those schools who participate. Generally, I do Union County, Johnson County, and I do a little bit in Alexander and Pulaski. There are 3 health educators at Southern 7. One is based right over there at the Olin Clinic.
The Plywood Campus.
What is that?
The Plywood Campus.
Why do you say that?
Right over there?
That's the name of it.
Is it over there?
Rustic
Yeah.
They
campus.
call it the Rustic
The Rustic,
or the Plywood
Rustic.
Campus.
Yes.
That's what
Yes, one is based there, and then we have one based at Massac.
I'm not gonna tell you what Dave says it is.
Oh,
He has to do all the maintenance
Oh,
there.
I know, yeah. Yeah, is it a POS? Is that what he refers to it as? But on the back, that is all of our sites. There are,
Well, this will be good for our reference list.
yes, are you
Yeah.
guys doing, like a resource guide or anything?
Yeah, reference book.
Is that what you're doing?
We are. Why did they close the one over here?
It is open, let's see, Wednesdays for public health, Thursdays for
I'm sorry, Head Start. Why did Head Start? You know why Head Start?
Head Start, I think it was financial issues. Same thing with public health and WIC. Those are also in here.
Okay.
The state, I would say, it's right after I got hired. So I would say 3.5 years ago, we had to do a bunch of layoffs.
Yeah. The budget
Yeah.
didn't get passed.
The budget
Yeah.
issue.
Lack
Yes.
of budget.
Yes.
That's not an issue, just call it what it is. Just continue.
Yes. In regards to the health department, they were horrified that we were, going to run out of money. So instantly, as soon as that was not passed, we had a bunch of layoffs. So the hours are still reduced. Anna, we are open 5 days a week, but the ladies who work WIC on Thursdays here at Olin, they are, they are based in Anna, and it's vice versa with public health. So they just kind of switch it up, and then it's the same thing within Caro and Pulaski. Oh, no, that's Alexander and Johnson. So they switch vice versa, just like Anna and Olin, to try and keep the offices open as much as we can. So yeah, the budget impasse, that's a huge blow to a lot of state agencies, though.
Wait to see if any of that changes in the administration. Because they say they're so health oriented and stuff like this.
Is it JD?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, he was huge on public health. His Rauner was not.
Yeah.